Val Kilmer was one of the most unique actors in Hollywood, known for bringing intensity, depth, and personality to every role he took. Born on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles, California, Kilmer grew up in a creative environment that encouraged him to explore art and performance. From a young age, he loved acting and storytelling, and he pursued this passion relentlessly. He trained at some of the best drama schools and worked hard to make a name for himself. In the 1980s, Kilmer began his career with small roles in films such as Top Secret in 1984 and Real Genius in 1985, which helped him gain attention for his unique style. However, his big breakthrough came with Top Gun in 1986, where he played the role of Tom "Iceman" Kazansky. This role catapulted him into the Hollywood spotlight and made him a household name almost overnight. People admired him, not only for his talent, but also for his commitment to bringing real emotion and depth to his characters. Unlike many actors who followed the typical path of fame, Kilmer made choices that reflected his personal values and artistic vision. He did not simply take roles for money or publicity. He wanted to challenge himself and explore different sides of human nature. This drive led him to portray Jim Morrison in The Doors in 1991, a role that required not just acting skills, but the ability to capture the energy, charm, and inner struggles of the legendary musician. Critics praised Kilmer's performance as brilliant, and it became one of the defining moments of his career. After that, he took on roles such as Doc Holliday in Tombstone in 1993, where he played a complex and layered character with subtlety and intensity, and Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever in 1995, a role that demonstrated his ability to balance action, drama, and personal depth. Kilmer's career was not about staying in the public eye or chasing fame. He often turned down roles that he felt were shallow or did not fit his artistic vision. This sometimes made him seem unpredictable to studios and directors, but it reflected his dedication to being authentic, rather than simply a celebrity. He valued creativity, honesty, and depth over popularity or commercial success. Even as he became more famous, he remained private and focused on his craft. Outside of acting, Kilmer had a love for many forms of art, including painting, photography, and writing. He was an observer of life, constantly seeking ways to express his thoughts and emotions. These interests often influenced the roles he chose and the projects he worked on, making him more than just an actor. He was a storyteller in every sense. Despite his fame, Kilmer preferred a life of introspection and thoughtful living. He never let Hollywood define who he was or dictate the way he lived his life. He understood that being a great actor was not just about being in movies, but about understanding people, understanding emotions, and communicating truthfully. This philosophy shaped his life and career choices. Kilmer's unique approach to fame and artistry sometimes drew criticism, but it also earned him deep respect among his colleagues and fans, who appreciated authenticity over superficiality. He was willing to take risks, step away from the spotlight, and make decisions that reflected his true self, rather than the demands of the industry. Kilmer's influence was not limited to the screen. He inspired other actors, writers, and artists to prioritize integrity, creativity, and personal values over money or popularity. Throughout his career, Kilmer showed that success is not always measured by awards or box office numbers, but by the impact one leaves on others and the authenticity of one's work. Even as he reached the height of fame, Kilmer continued to seek meaningful roles and projects that challenged him, showing that he cared more about substance than image. This commitment to authenticity and personal growth is part of what made him unforgettable. Beyond his professional life, Kilmer was also a devoted father. He raised his children, Mercedes and Jack, with care, privacy, and attention. ensuring that fame never overshadowed their upbringing. He wanted them to grow up with values, creativity, and the ability to pursue their own passions without pressure or expectation. Kilmer's life was a balance between public recognition and private fulfillment, a rare combination in Hollywood, and one that set him apart from many of his peers. His story is one of determination, artistic integrity, and the courage to live life on his own terms, no matter the challenges or the scrutiny he faced. In 2014, Val Kilmer's life took a difficult turn when he began showing signs of illness. His appearance became noticeably gaunt, and rumors about his health started circulating in the media. For years, he remained private and denied the reports, choosing to face his challenges without public attention. It was not until 2017 that Kilmer revealed he had been battling throat cancer for several years. The illness required chemotherapy, radiation, and 2 tracheotomies, which left him almost completely unable to speak. Despite these physical challenges, Kilmer's mind remained sharp, and he continued to pursue creative projects, focusing on writing, painting, and filming personal messages to his family. His struggle with illness was largely private, reflecting the life he had chosen, a life that valued family, art, and personal integrity over public recognition. In 2020, Kilmer published his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, in which he detailed his experiences with cancer, the emotional toll of losing control over his body, and the isolation that accompanied his condition. The memoir was honest, deeply reflective, and emotionally restrained, giving readers insight into the inner life of a man who had always been larger than life on screen, but profoundly private off it. During this period, Kilmer focused on his family and personal legacy. He meticulously organized photographs, videos, and letters for Mercedes and Jack, ensuring that they would have a record of his life, thoughts, and love. He prepared personal messages, including handwritten letters and encrypted videos in which he shared stories, advice, and farewells. Mercedes received a wooden box with over 300 unpublished photos, capturing moments from both his career and private family life. Jack received a manuscript of an unfinished screenplay and letters meant to guide him in his personal and professional journey. These gestures were not about wealth, but about leaving a meaningful, lasting connection with his children. In addition to personal items, Kilmer left an estimated $10 to $25 million in assets, including film royalties, investments, and real estate, divided equally between his children. He also established a fund to maintain his New Mexico property, writing, "Keep this place if you need peace or want to write a story of your own without telling anyone." This showed his foresight and care for their well-being beyond his lifetime. Kilmer also supported nonprofit organizations, throat cancer research, and arts programs for children in New Mexico, often anonymously during his lifetime. This revealed a quiet generosity and dedication to causes close to his heart. Despite the challenges he faced with illness, Kilmer maintained his identity as an artist and a father. He communicated through images, gestures, and presence when words were no longer available, teaching his children that communication and connection extend far beyond speech. Mercedes recalls that the hardest part was not learning of his illness, but adjusting to life without his voice. Jack shared that their father taught him to speak with his eyes, emphasizing attention, empathy, and understanding. Kilmer's approach to illness, privacy, and family highlighted his character: resilient, thoughtful, and deeply human. Even in his final years, he carefully managed his public appearances. His brief return to the big screen in Top Gun: Maverick in 2022 was moving, not only because it honored his iconic role as Iceman, but because his voice was recreated using AI from archival recordings. Tom Cruise personally visited Kilmer to convince him to participate, reflecting the deep respect and friendship between them. This final performance symbolized closure for his career and his personal journey, showing how Kilmer remained connected to the art he loved until the end. Kilmer's handling of fame, illness, and legacy exemplifies a rare balance between public achievement and private fulfillment. He never sought pity, attention, or sensationalism. Instead, he focused on the things that mattered most: family, art, and integrity. Through the careful preparation of his will, letters, videos, and personal artifacts, Kilmer created a lasting legacy that will guide, inspire, and comfort his children for years to come. In every choice, he demonstrated the importance of living intentionally, even in the face of great personal challenges. His story reminds us that the most profound forms of wealth are not money or fame, but love, thoughtfulness, and the memories and lessons we leave behind. Val Kilmer's life was not defined solely by the roles he played on screen, but by the philosophy he carried into everything he did. He approached his career with seriousness and respect, valuing roles that challenged him and reflected his values. Kilmer often chose characters that were complex, flawed, and deeply human, from Jim Morrison's intensity to Doc Holliday's charm, and even Batman's duality. He avoided superficial roles, demonstrating that an actor's purpose is to tell stories that matter and touch hearts. Off-screen, Kilmer's life mirrored the values he expressed through his work. He valued privacy, authenticity, and meaningful connection over media attention and celebrity culture. By retreating to his New Mexico ranch, he created a space for reflection, creation, and family life. There, he painted, wrote, composed poetry, and documented his personal history with care, ensuring that his children would inherit not just wealth, but understanding and wisdom. Kilmer's legacy extends beyond the personal. It influences anyone who values integrity, creativity, and living authentically. His choices remind us that fame is fleeting, but impact, thoughtfulness, and love are lasting. By preparing personal letters, videos, and photographs for Mercedes and Jack, Kilmer demonstrated that legacy is not just financial, but emotional and spiritual. His careful planning and dedication to family show that true love and care are expressed in action, thoughtfulness, and intention, not just words. Kilmer's approach to life, illness, and legacy provides lessons for all of us. Live intentionally, prioritize meaningful connections, embrace creativity, and remain true to your values, no matter external pressures. Even after his death, Kilmer continues to teach through the stories, memories, and wisdom he left behind. He showed that being a parent, an artist, and a human being requires courage, attention, and integrity. Kilmer's children, Mercedes and Jack, carry forward these lessons in their lives and work, honoring his influence and continuing the values he instilled. For the public, Kilmer remains an unforgettable figure, an actor who brought depth, vulnerability, and authenticity to his roles, and a human being who lived fully, quietly, and thoughtfully. His life story encourages viewers to reflect on what truly matters: relationships, personal growth, creativity, and the legacy we leave behind. In the end, Val Kilmer was not just a movie star. He was a father, an artist, a private individual who understood the value of thoughtfulness, planning, and intentional living. His farewell was quiet but profound, leaving his family with memories, love, and inspiration. As we remember his life, we celebrate not only his contributions to film, but also the lessons he gave through the way he lived and loved. Kilmer's story will continue to inspire, showing us that true greatness lies not in fame, but in integrity, care, and the courage to live fully on your own terms. In reflecting on his journey, we are reminded that the best legacy is one that touches hearts, shapes minds, and endures through those who carry it forward. Val Kilmer may have left this world, but through his art, family, and thoughtfully preserved memories, his spirit and lessons continue to live on, offering guidance, comfort, and inspiration for generations to come.